What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Scaring the Hose by JPEGMAFIA and Danny Brown. Stick around for what we thought of the album, our rating, our favorite songs, all that, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Okay, bye.
Next.
Boom!
Jesus.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Earbuds Podcast. It is Halloween. It is October 31st. And you know what that means is that we got our scare on, baby. I got my orange pumpkin hair. Lucas has some kind of mask that he got at like a Spirit Halloween, I assume.
It's just my face.
Really?
That's my... Yep. Yeah.
Oh. All right, well.
What? Wait. You think it... Do you think it's Halloween right now?
Yeah? What?
Ash, are you feeling all right?
I'm feeling fucking fine, baby.
Yeah?
I'm Ash feeling all right. With me, as always, my co-host, Lucas, feeling good pussy poppin' boy, Indrakobs.
Jesus Christ.
And today, Lucas, we're scaring the hose.
I don't like scaring the hose, but sometimes when Danny Brown and JPEGMAFIA tell you to scare the hose, you gotta scare the hose.
You don't really have a choice.
Yeah, it's not my choice.
Even if I'm one of the hoes in question.
Yeah, we have no authority here.
No one gets to decide who the hoes are. You know?
We're all hoes.
In a way.
I'm a hoe
And
for
maybe
Danny Brown for sure.
Maybe that's like something this album's going to teach us.
Man, I didn't even know that this was coming out. I was pretty excited when I saw it. Like, Danny Brown is one of those dudes that, like, I don't even know if this is true or not, but I feel like not a lot of people talk about him. And
I don't know about that.
I don't see a lot of people talking about Danny Brown. And they should.
Who are people talking about?
I don't know, fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine.
That is so fucking old news.
I don't know, man. Like NBA Youngboy, OT Genesis. Like, I know Danny Brown at this point is kind of like older, you know? Like, I don't think he really blew up until like he was in his 30s. I think.
I think it took a bit.
Yeah, it took a bit. And he's just because he was in Odd Future, right?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought he was. Yeah, man. I feel like people just sleep on Danny Brown more than they should, and I love Danny Brown.
I love him too, man. I've the first time I heard him was on Humans when he was a feature on what was that fucking song called?
I don't know. I hated that album.
Yeah, because you're a little bitch.
Wow.
And at first I thought he kind of ruined the song, but on further listens, like, he kind of amped it up and started
That's
checking
what he does.
out his other albums at like Triple X or XXX. I don't know, like, what the correct way to say it is.
Dude, you know what I'm saying is such a fucking good record too.
Dude.
And Atrocity Exhibition.
Atrocity Exhibition, great
good
one.
Shit.
That Kendrick feature on it, and like, really though, like,
dude, Old was really good too. God damn.
He's had a lot of good stuff, and this is his newest project in collaboration with JPEGMAFIA, who I've always really liked. I've always felt like I should really enjoy JPEG.
It seems like he would. I think he falls right in your wheelhouse of hip hop.
It's like, I love his strange beats. I love his delivery. I love that he's like constantly references wrestling.
Right.
And,
but
like,
he's so
anime
different,
and
man.
stuff.
The JPEGMAFIA, like, I gotta admit, I haven't been able to get into them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, it usually flies over my head. But, I mean, this is a combination that I don't think anyone was expecting. But man, am I happy it's happened. I'm so excited to listen to this album.
Yeah, I'm really curious what this is going to be because supposedly every song is produced by JPEGMAFIA. And unfortunately, that's kind of what I don't like about JPEG Mafia a lot is like their beats are weird, man. And that's why I'm surprised that you don't like them more, because you're into the clipping and the Brockhamptons and the, you know, the that type of hip hop that I have a harder time getting into because I'm so boom bap. Just give me boom
you're
bap.
Such an old head. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an East Coast hip hop head for sure, and then like I can get into the Southern hip hops, but it's of a certain era. Same with the West Coast stuff, certain era. But it's
Danny Brown has some weird ass beats on his stuff too.
Sometimes, but I think I don't know. It doesn't seem to bother me as much. I guess like I don't feel like I'm able to bob my head as much to JPEG Mafia as I am to like a Danny Brown beat.
You like picking favorites.
What do you mean?
And you just like picking favorites and like, oh, I like this person, so I like their music, even though I'm like fucking a hypocrite.
That's what I mean. Like, what do you mean I'm picking favorites? Like, it's not. I mean, JPEG and Danny Brown are very different. Are they not?
That's true.
I think they're very different artists. So, does it surprise you that I like one more than the other?
No.
Don't you like one more than the other? Don't you like Danny Brown more?
I don't think I have a favorite between them because
Sophie's choice. If you had to send one to get killed, if you had to, okay, let's not say killed. That's too far. If you would never listen to one of these artists again, would you choose Danny Brown to never listen to again, or JPEG Mafia to never listen to again?
Oh man. I didn't really think Danny Brown's latest album was that good.
You know what I'm saying? The one from 2019?
Yeah.
Oh, I really liked it.
And I did very much enjoy LP from JPEG. So I guess but Atrocity Exhibition and
yeah, old
XXX.
Fuck and XXS. Dude. Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna say JPEG for the wrestling references, and that's it.
Oh my god.
And the anime.
Okay. And you're not gonna go for Danny Brown just from his sense of humor and all his shit.
JPEG also has a good sense of humor.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. I like that. I was watching the Danny Brown Joe Rogan interview that he did pretty recently. I don't know, maybe a year ago, and he talked about how he's super into stand up. Obviously, he's a really funny dude in general. Has his own podcast too. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that JPEG's been on.
JPEG has been on that. Yeah. He said that he writes his verses like jokes, like stand-up setups. Like he figures out what the punchline's going to be, and then he works backwards.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, how can I build to this punchline? And he says he goes, if you have a punchline, that's 4 bars right there, is how he sees it. It's like you have a punchline, you have 4 bars. So it's like I do 3 bars to set up the punchline, and that's the last one. And he's like, and I just go, that's how he writes. Right. And I just thought that was really cool. I've never heard of a rapper talking about like how they write songs, like really like how they think of this stuff, and then him breaking it down to like stand-up comedy and how that influences how he writes his music. I loved that connection that he made in his head, and that it like so fucking works for him, because it's true, a lot of his shit is really funny if you're paying attention. Like he's mostly telling jokes, even when he's like being hard and fucking crazy, you know.
Sure.
But JPEG is a little more artsy, right? Like JPEG Mafia, I would say, is more of a.
He's from what I've heard, he's like a little more artsy. He's a little more experimental in all his stuff.
Yeah.
He has quite a swagger. He has quite an aura about him.
And definitely has that sort of free spirit type of vibe too, where he's like doesn't give a fuck about like you need to look a certain way to be a rapper or to be an artist or anything. Like you need to act a certain way, or like he definitely like JPEG seems like he's doing whatever the fuck he wants, and that to me seems like an artist to a T. You know what I mean? Like this dude is just he's owning his art. Like he is his art. You know. So
how are these two gonna play together, man?
Super curious, man.
I say we get into the first track.
Yeah.
We're gonna do. If you're on Spotify and you got a premium membership, we're doing track by track. We talk about each one. If you don't have premium, you get a 30-second sliver of each song. If you're on YouTube, we're skipping right to the end, the general discussion of the album.
Yeah. ratings, reviews, all that stuff at the end. So I'm ready, dude.
Lean beef patty, baby.
It's a minute 40 seconds or something, so it's probably just an intro track. But we'll see if we have anything to say about it.
All right, let's go.
All right. We just listened to Scaring the Hose. We just finished the last track, Where You Get Your Coke From. And I think, spoiler alert, I think we liked it. This
is an album you can only hope to keep up with. Really?
Yeah, it's true.
If we didn't, we always listen to this. We listen to a song, we take a break to talk about the song. If we didn't do that, man, this would be quite the overwhelming album.
And I think it'd be really hard for us to remember anything really specific about it, which it still is kind of hard for me. Like I keep trying to remember exactly which songs stood out to me and some of the weirder things that they were doing on this album.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of just, obviously a lot of self-expression, but in a way that I'm not used to hearing in hip hop, where it's like this kind of energy and attitude of, we know some people think we're like weird for hip hop, and we're gonna totally fucking dive in and like lean into that side of things, and I think they really pulled it off.
Oh man, and it seems like Danny and JPEG never rapped on the same beat.
Yeah, for sure.
Every song there'd be a new verse, there's a new beat, and then they're like, oh, we're switching over to Danny, he gets his own beat, and it's like,
well, with so much talk about BZDs, which is like benzos or something. I think those are like narcotics of some sort. And there was a lot of coke talk, a lot of like geeked out, like geeking out talk and everything. This does feel like a drug fueled, like weekend in the studio or something is what this whole thing feels like. Like you mentioned several times while we were listening to it, that it feels like JPEG is kind of making these beats live. Yeah, and it's just kind of, it's almost like they're figuring it out. But so it's obviously these beats are very well constructed and like, composed, but it does sound like, if you're not really paying much attention to how much is going on and how much it all works together, it does kind of sound like he's just pressing buttons sometimes.
Each beat is just like a patchwork of like 30 different things, and Danny and JPEG can both rap on anything, and they lean into that.
They surprised me so many times, especially Danny Brown on this album surprised me a lot at how good and how versatile he is at rapping over the weirdest fucking tempos.
It's shit. Like, how do you, like, where am I?
Yeah, where's the one versus the four? And then they'll wait. The next line, like they'll go off on one, and then they'll wait until like the two to come in on the next line, right. And it's like, because that's how this is gonna work, and it's so discombobulating. But the beats are really good at like keeping you kind of in the pocket, despite how all over the place they are. That there was, especially the first half of the album, I feel like just had this grimy, like really aggressiveness to it, where I feel like the second half was more leaning into more soul type of samples, but still bringing that distortion into it and that dirtiness, but that it wasn't as aggressive until I feel like Where You Get Your Coke From was a super aggressive outro track, which I liked because they started kind of losing me a little bit in the Jack Harlow, Heaven on Earth songs like there towards the end, where I was,
for sure.
It was this, just the whole album felt like this, acid fueled, coke fueled, like explosion of energy. And then once it started falling off there towards the end, I was like, I feel like I felt it in my fucking brain that I was like, I'm starting to come down a little bit.
You're just kind of getting worn down. Like my stamina is depleting. It's very like, this music asks a lot of you, the listener.
It does. And I can't imagine. I mean, it's a 36-minute long album, and that would be an exhausting 36 minutes to listen to all the way through.
Yeah.
Like, I agree. I'm glad we stopped in between each song, which is kind of rare. Usually I regret that we have to do that.
but we needed a break or two, man.
Yeah, but it was so much fun. This album is so much fun.
Yeah, and they sounded like they were having a fucking blast making it.
It came through. It especially came through in the lyrics where they were both just being fucking hilarious through the whole album. And it seemed like they were just trying to make each other laugh almost.
Yeah, right.
You know? Like it was really fun to listen to, but yeah, mentally exhausting.
What are you going to rate this album?
Oh man, I feel like I was really surprised in general at how much I liked it, mostly because I was afraid that I wasn't going to like JPEG's music on it, because for my exposure I just haven't really liked it before. Maybe this is just the perfect pairing of his music with like a rapper that I really, really enjoy. And I came into this a huge Danny Brown fan, so like super happy with his performance on this album and just loved the music altogether. I thought JPEG also his verses were fucking killing it. Love all the different things that they were doing with the music and all the different samples and the different synths, and we like, the farty synths that we love that they were doing, and just how dirty and gritty and fucking aggressive most of the album was, man. So I'm gonna give this a 8.0.
8.0. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. This is, I mean, especially for a first listen, that is a very generous score.
I think so, and I think it's probably going to go down the more I listen to this album, because I'm never going to listen to it in this context again, where I'm stopping after every song, talking for a minute and a half, and then, or just giving myself a break in between tracks. Like, I think if I listen to this whole thing in one sitting, it'll probably go down, because it is just so much to take in.
Well, that's interesting, because I think my score is like only by a little bit, but just a little bit lower than yours, and I expect it to go up.
Oh. So, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a lot of influence from this album. These are like kind of in the realm of the beats I want to make.
Really?
If I were to make beats, like maybe not as crazy as this and like off the wall and shit.
Yeah,
but
you might need some more you might need some fentanyl to fucking pull that off.
Right. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna be coming back to this album. It was so crazy that you couldn't pick out one particular thing about it. And so in that way, it does kind of blend together a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I think on subsequent listens, when I'm going to be able to differentiate these things a little bit more, I'm going to have these big moments. But for now, I'm giving this a 7.8.
Oh, okay. So right there with me.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Do you think that the score would go up because you'd be able to take in more in like future listens?
Yeah, and just like actually like kind of consume it, and like, because this was like,
because we experienced it just now. We didn't consume this. Like, as much as I liked it, not a lot of it is going to stick with me, because like you said, it's just so all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to walk away like singing. Like, also, there's not a lot of hooks on it, right? So
there's really no catchy
there's no catchiness
or anything.
Which is any of it.
I'm fine with.
Which I'm so not fine with most of the time. And I just really enjoyed it. I think I needed this kind of energy right now, This is, I mean, we talked a little before the podcast, and this kind of feels like the energies you've been on lately. Yeah, very fuck you energy on this album. And I really, really enjoyed it. So 7.8 and 8, man. Those are strong scores. Like, before we talk about our two favorite songs, what were some of your like honorable mentions? What other ones stood out to you?
Man,
kind of hard to pick too, right? Like,
it's like I Step a Pig. I think I will say that I like the first half of this album more than the second.
Same.
So most of my stuff is gonna be on this first half. Step a Pig. I liked Shut Yo Bitch Ass Up / Muddy Waters, and it's like that was so close to being a choicey.
That was a good one. Garbage Pail Kids was a great one. What was the one that they were clapping most of the time and then the drums came in?
I believe that was
That was Scaring the Hose, right?
That was Scaring the Hose.
I think.
Or Garbage Pail Kids.
One of those two, yeah.
I don't know.
But again, it's like I just all I remember is reading the title of the song and just knowing like, yeah, I like this. Like that's how I'm making most of these connections.
Yeah,
It's gonna be hard.
yeah.
It's honestly gonna be hard for me to pick my two favorites on this, but I'm totally with you. I'm pretty much the same. That the first half of the record is I like it more than the second for sure.
I liked the last song. I thought that was very cool.
God Loves You was good. Really funny, and I liked Orange Juice Jones. I thought that was just a
an insane concept for a song where it's like this R&B sample and you're rapping over this dude singing the R&B sample with no care of when he's singing. Like they're perfectly fine with like trampling over the fucking sample they're using.
Yeah, on every track almost when they're using a sample like that, a vocal sample, they're just rapping over another vocalist. And I said it while we were listening to it track by track that I was so thankful to have the lyrics because I would not have known half the words they were saying. And even then, whoever put the lyrics on Genius also didn't know what they were saying sometimes.
Question marks.
Lots of question marks, which I was trying to like fill in the blanks, and I'm like, no, yeah, that's indecipherable. But also I love that the lyrics were there too, because then I could hear the jokes and they were so fucking funny on a lot of these songs. But I'm with you, man. I think one of my favorite songs is Lean Beef Patty.
That's one of mine as well. I knew we were going to share that one.
What a fucking opener, like so dirty and grimy and just like that really good, like you can't not bob your head to Lean Beef Patty.
Oh God, so many head bobbing songs on this record.
Yeah.
Even though this shit's all weird, Peggy coming in and then like doing a couple lines, and then music comes in. It's fucking dirty. Fuck.
And man, it comes in on a weird. It does like a hiccup kind of thing with the snare, and then it hits in like on the two or the and or something there, where it's just like, oh, like it hits even harder because it's so unexpected the way that it hits. Yeah, that it just fucking adds to it so much, man. And such a kick-ass beat.
Like references to Tony Khan and
Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik.
Yeah,
he was real deep in the fucking wrestling references on that one.
Even though Danny wasn't a big part of this song, like still a cool verse from Danny at the end.
Danny's verse disappointed me a little bit, only because JPEG just came out so fucking strong.
I mean, God, man.
Danny was very subdued in his, where it was like where JPEG was kind of like nonstop rapping for every single one of his lines. Danny did like half lines.
Right. Yeah.
It was interesting. Didn't really like Danny's part on it too much, but that beat is just too fucking hard to not be one of my favorites. JPEG was too fucking good on it, and the fact that was the first track was just such a great setup for the rest of the record.
Right.
That I'm
really,
like, what
really
a fucking
kicking off on a good note.
Yeah, coming out the gate, full fucking steam, dude. Loved it.
And let's see if we share our second nug. Mine is.
I really don't even know what mine is. Fentanyl Tester. Sorry, I kind of stepped on that.
You don't even know what it is? You don't even know what your fucking second nug is?
Okay, no, I do.
Okay, and it's not Fentanyl Tester.
It's not Fentanyl Tester.
All right. Well, let's get into this one first. It's got this kind of weird. It has that song that we can't fucking remember.
What the boys go crazy for.
And the
yeah, dude, comment if you're watching this. Comment what fucking sample that is, because it's like on the tip of our tongues and we can't pinpoint it.
And just like a lot of songs on this record, we got these like machine gun vocals, just rapping
over the goddamn vocal sample, so it's even harder to hear what they're saying.
I love how Peggy comes in with that flow. It just fucking goes hard.
Dude, once Danny comes in and it's like it turns into a break beat.
Yeah. Super cool. Super
fucking
cool.
Awesome. Just like somehow the energy built up even more. Like 45 seconds into the song, where you feel like, okay, well, this is peaking, right? And then it's like Danny comes in like, nope, he just exploded it.
You never know when you're peaking on this thing.
And the beat changes like literally every fucking 10 seconds. It's so all over the place and it's so fun. I can't think of who else does beats like this. Maybe Flying Lotus. Like Flying Lotus is kind of weird too, but not at this level of
Man, like
schizo.
there's a lot of like Guppy, who's like kind of a hyperpop artist.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of hyperpop stuff that's kind of like this.
Oh, yes, that's the connection I didn't make with this. Is these are very hyper poppy beats. A lot of these.
Even still, this is like it's like all the same components, but the fucking product is different for some reason, and I can't put my finger on why.
Is it because there's that really fucking deep bass that's going through a lot of these songs too? Like, do you find that 808 deep bass in hyperpop?
Yeah, you get that shit there.
Oh, you do? Okay.
It might just be like, I don't know. These guys have like vocal deliveries are different from what you'd find on like hyperpop shit, and fuck, man, I don't know. What's your second song?
It took me a little bit to figure it out, but when I looked back at it, it was perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, I thought those lyrics were the funniest on the whole album, and that's why it like really fucking stuck with me.
And you like the horns. I think this is the only song with like horns prominently through the mix.
Yeah, I think other than that, like Where You Get Your Coke From had some horns in there. But yeah, I loved it because I didn't know until we were done with the song that Burfict is like the last name of a football player who's supposedly like one of the dirtiest players in the league. So I love that it seems like they kind of use that as the influence for their lyrics in the song too, where they're just like talking about just being dirty and being fucking grimy, and loved it. Loved the beat. Yes, like you said, I love the song Trophies. That fucking, I think it's Drake or someone did a song called Trophies. That used a trumpet. And I'm like, man, like this was like, must have been 10 fucking years ago almost when I first heard it. And I was like, man, more rap songs should use trumpets like this, like kind of marching band type trumpets or, like orchestral. And they took that idea of like the football team marching band type of horn sound and put it on this beat, and it's such a sucker for it. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
So it really stood out to me, and I just some of the, like I said, some of my favorite lyrics on the whole record too. So yeah. Like dripping like Rudy, you know how I do. So fucking good.
What did y'all think of this record? Is it anything to you? Are you just gonna kind of brush it off as nonsense?
Yeah. Did you even know this was coming out? Am I the only one that didn't know this was coming out?
I think you are.
Probably.
You are. What did you think about how we thought about it? What do you think about how I thought about how Lucas thought about it?
Yeah. What do you think of my shirt? What do you think of Ash's shirt?
I think I got a pretty good shirt.
You got a little Beetlejuice thing going there.
Yeah,
I like
a little
it.
bit. Got a kind of like a little emo thing going, maybe.
That like Pacific Northwest Beetlejuice drip is what you got going right now. And one thing I want to call out: great album art, amazing album art. I fucking love it. I love the blaxploitation 70s kind of vibe that they got going on there. Danny holding the fucking sawed off double barrel shotgun, and fucking Peggy with the revolver in one hand and a Bible in the other with a big ass cross chain. Like, come on. So fucking good, dude.
Find us on Instagram at EBPcast, YouTube, Spotify. Those are our main hubs, but you can get us anywhere that podcasts are, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, give us a follow, man. I just found out the other day we have like 40 something subscribers on our Spotify page.
Really? No shit.
Yeah, that was surprising. I hadn't seen that number until recently. I guess they weren't like giving people that number, but kind of fun, kind of cool. Go subscribe to our Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube, and yeah, man, comment, like, and fucking give us all the algorithmic fucking juice, man. We want people to hear this shit. Tell us what albums you guys want us to listen to as well. We might we've done a couple listener suggested episodes before. Those are fun.
Yeah.
We got chit chats too, where as often as we can. We missed last week. We took a week off basically, but our chit chats are music related topics. We just kind of sit down and riff, or we prepare lists of like our favorite songs of a certain genre, or like we've done stuff like our favorite one hit wonders, songs we feel like no one ever needs to hear again, et cetera, et cetera. So always taking suggestions on chit chats as well. What do you guys want us to talk about? Thanks for listening, hoes and bros and buddies. We love you guys. Stick around. New episodes every single week. Ash, this was a good.
Lucas, this was good.
Okay, stop recording real quick.
Oh, okay.
Stop recording right now.
Yeah, I planned on it.
Okay,
Don't worry.
Real quick though.
Yeah, what's up?
Did you stop recording?
No. Yeah, I stopped. What do you want to say?
Okay. Are you sure you stopped recording?
No, yeah. Like totally sure.
Yeah, no, yeah?
Yeah, no, yeah.
I got nothing.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. I got nothing.
Nothing in particular you want to talk? No? No confessions or like wrongdoings, misdeeds, things I could like blackmail you for if I were recording, which I'm not?
I'm lactose intolerant.
Fuck. We fucking got him. All right. It's going to the fucking presses, baby. You're
What the
done.
fuck?
You're done, baby.
What the fuck?
All right. Recording. Stop.
You getting the cheese lobby on me?